All right, welcome back to the channel. 7 pictures that will shatter the reality that you live in, right? That will make you think about the world you live in. So the first picture is that of a high altitude balloon, and it has a camera attached to it. It is beyond 35,000 feet, above 35,000 feet. High altitude balloons can reach heights of anywhere between 90,000 feet and 125,000 feet, I believe. And this is obviously way higher up than 35,000 feet, which is the altitude that these so-called scientists, right, tell us that the curvature of the Earth should be visible. So this camera has no fisheye lens, meaning no alteration to the actual picture, no alteration to the actual image, right? This is the reality. So, right, where's the curve? Where is the curvature of the Earth? It doesn't take much research to find out that the Earth is not a globe. I don't know what it is. I don't know what shape it is, but it's definitely not an oblate spheroid or a sphere like they tell us in school, right? The reality is much different. The thing is, whenever you suggest these things, the knee-jerk reaction of most people is to call you crazy, right? To just aggressively defend what they learned in school, right? These scientists, right, quote unquote, when reality, the likelihood that they're just actors and that they're just posing as scientists is very high. But a lot of these people, they sound fancy with all these really advanced words saying, oh, this is the distance of the sun from the Earth, and this is how the curvature of the Earth is. And they just tell you all these crazy so-called facts about the world and about our universe. But whenever a simple question is asked, like, why is it that the curvature of the Earth can't be seen? They just completely go into this mode, right, of calling you a conspiracy theorist and making fun of you and just completely dismissing what you have to say, right? Everything that goes against science, right? Actual science is trial and error, keeping an open mind, and actually just going on the facts, right? But science has become a cult nowadays, right? You can't question anything that goes against. You can't question the narrative. You can't question the official facts. If you do, you're a conspiracy theorist and you're crazy, right? So there's plenty of videos. There's plenty of pictures of just of average people, right? Getting high altitude balloons, hooking up GoPros to them, and taking them into very high altitudes, right? Altitudes, again, that according to science, right? According to the official facts, the curvature of the Earth should be visible at that altitude. So that's the first picture. The second one is that of the giants of the past, right? This is another one that's very obvious if you just look a little bit into it. The evidence is everywhere. Giant bones, giant architecture, giant weapons, doorways even. Things that make absolutely no sense for our humanity to have built, right? It has no practical use. Maybe from an artistic point of view, you can argue that, oh, okay, they just built it because it looks nice, or it's just an artistic representation, right? But there's literally hundreds, thousands of examples of these things found everywhere around the world that just don't make any sense for our current humanity to have built, right? So that's the second picture, those of giants of the past. Picture number 3 is that of the petrified titans, these mountain ranges, these hills all across the world of, again, mountains, hilltops, just having a very close resemblance to people, right? To human anatomy, whether it be a face or a hand or a leg, all across the world, right? What a coincidence. What are the odds of that actually being the case, right? Of all of these mountain ranges across the world, of all these hills, of all these places, and they just happen to look like giant people, right? Like titans. If you look into the book of Enoch, and in the Bible itself, it talks about how the giants were wiped out, right? The titans of the past. These beings existed that would make, your average person, just look like a grasshopper in their sight, right? So this is a very interesting one. Picture number 4 is that of the rat race, right? There's a very good animation here on YouTube. I believe it's by Stephen Covey, or Covey, Covey. And he made a brilliant little video on, the rat race and what it means and how it just is the reality for most people, right? It's the sad reality that most people live in. Money is such a huge just pillar, or such a huge, I'm trying to find the right word for it. Just it dominates, daily life, right? It dominates the lives of so many people, and this is the system that we're born into is just so cold, so harsh. When you work for someone else, when you work in a company, you're not really valued as a person, right? You're viewed as a cog. You're viewed as someone that can be easily replaced, right? You're there to do a job, but you're not irreplaceable. It's just a very cold-hearted system that we're currently in, right? And the guy, Stephen Covey, he does a brilliant little video just explaining the realities of this rat race, right? And I would encourage anyone out there listening to, just strive for something better. If you're in a situation that you don't like, if you're in a situation that, in a job, in a situation that you don't enjoy, do your best to get out of it and try to live as freely as possible, right? Picture number 5, the old world buildings that just, there really is no comparison between those buildings and the current buildings that we have in modern society, right? Quote unquote. Just take a look around you. Take a look around your neighborhood. Every new building nowadays, it seems like, just looks the same, right? This square box that looks like a prison. It might have a few windows, but it's just very, very ugly in appearance, right? Take a look at some of the pictures from, these buildings from the 1800s, from the 1900s. It was art. They were beautiful to look at. They inspired you. They were just completely different to what we have today. And that's a whole nother topic as to why this is being done. Why those old world buildings were destroyed. Why it's only these ugly buildings popping out everywhere nowadays. The significance of these old world buildings as well. Did you know that a lot of these buildings, a lot of these churches, the possibility of them being energy generators, of providing free energy, is very, very high. They were not only designed to get energy from the ether, but they were coated with conductors, right? The rooftops, their domes, they were plated with copper and with gold even. Things that are just excellent conductors. And they're designed in a way to gather energy. Of course, this is a whole nother topic, but it's a very interesting thing to look into, and I highly recommend you do. Picture number 6 is that of the moon map. Have you ever wondered what that image on the moon is? Those craters and those black smudges on the moon, what they are? Well, if you look into the channel Vibes of Cosmos, you'll get an answer to that. And the answer is, it's a reflection of our world. It's a reflection of the land masses that, exist in this realm we're in. The black smudges on the moon, they are the land masses of the earth. And again, the YouTube channel Vibes of Cosmos just brilliantly covers this topic. I highly recommend his work. It's just very eye-opening. And the last picture is that of the giant trees of the past. This is one such example of Devil's Tower in Wyoming. It looks like a tree stump, right? Well, there are several of these all around the world. The reality is that these trees existed and that they were cut down, right? Obviously. And it's fascinating to look into. The Bible, the book of Enoch, talks about the giant trees of the past. And it's just a whole nother rabbit hole that you can get into, right? So if you made it this far in the video, I thank you for listening. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I just make videos on topics that I find interesting. And if you consider yourself an open-minded person and you don't get triggered when information that goes against the mainstream or information that is not very, common to hear about, if information like that doesn't get you triggered, then welcome to the channel. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next one.